Nio Stock price prediction. Okay guys, let's talk about Nio Stock in this video. So Nio is sold off quite sharply today. The stock is down around 10% as I record this video. And it's kind of funny to realize that we were just at, it looked like Nio was headed to around $70 just like, a month or two ago. So it's so funny how things can change so fast, especially for a lot of these hyper growth EV stocks, guys. So we're going to talk about Nio and kind of a little bit about the EV industry in general and why we're seeing a lot of these stocks sell off. Before I get into the video, guys, be sure to grab your 2 free stocks over at Webull. All you have to do is deposit at least $100 in a Webull account. It's my favorite alternative to Robinhood, and you'll receive 2 free stocks up to $1,850, guys. So grab the links in the description below to get your free stocks. Okay, so let's head back over to the chart. So we had some pretty crazy news today as we go here over on Yahoo Finance. We can see it says Nio Inc.'s announces temporary suspension of production for 5 working days. So what's basically going on? Well, I've been doing a little bit of reading up on this subject, and it looks like there's a major chip shortage. So because of the huge demand for the work at home and things like that, a lot of people working from home and remote work, there is a shortage in chips. So this has really crushed the semiconductor industry, and it's not just Nio. A lot of factories like legacy automakers like Toyota and General Motors, even Tesla. So this has had a ripple effect throughout the entire EV industry, and this could be one of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of these stocks sell off. So we just read it quickly. It just says Nio announced today that the company decided to temporarily suspend the vehicle production activity of the JAC Nio manufacturing plant in, if I'm pronouncing this right, Hefei, for 5 working days to a semiconductor shortage. So this will obviously adjust their deliveries because they've had to close these factories down for a bit. So that's obviously the bad news, and obviously the market reacted in a very negative way. The stock is down 10%, and Nio, which was such a big winner last year when we talked about them, I talked about Nio stock when it was just around $2 to $3 for you guys who have been following my channel for a while. Nio is down 30% year to date, so it looks like a lot of people are just cycling out of the EV stocks in general and just basically chasing safer returns and value stocks, dividend paying stocks, REIT stocks, even crypto. I think crypto's getting a lot of attention this year as well. But I'm going to tell you guys why I think this is an interesting opportunity. So a lot of people, I was reading your comments in some of my previous Nio videos, and a lot of you guys said you missed the boat. Well, first of all, this is a great time to get back in. So guys, I'm using the software called TradingView. You can go to tradingview.com and use it. It's an awesome charting software. And I like to use the RSI to kind of tell me when stocks are getting, super popular and when they're getting sold off. So if we take a look here at the RSI, we can see that Nio is trading at an RSI of just around 32. So what does this mean? Well, this means that a lot of these stocks are becoming unpopular. A lot of people are dumping them, which means a lot of the shareholder base is shuffling. So I think a lot of the long-term holders are still there, but a lot of the people that were buying it for the speculatory nature, they've been dumping the stock. But the good news is that Nio has continuously crushed its delivery numbers, and even though they're going to have a slowdown, this isn't going to be a temporary, a complete halt. So it's not like COVID where things were halted 100%. It's just going to be a temporary slowdown. I think this is a nice opportunity to get into some of these stocks if you guys missed the boat. So now if you bought at the top here, what can you do? I'm going to give you guys a couple of ways to kind of mitigate your risk here. So the first thing is anytime you're buying a big position, like if you're buying a couple of shares, you might not need to do this. But if you're spending thousands of dollars, maybe $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 or more, $50,000, whatever you're spending in these stocks, you might want to hedge your position using put options. So you can just simply buy a put option at the exact same price that you purchased the shares, and that way if the shares do go down, you'll still make a little bit of money on the way down. So the second way to mitigate your risk is to sell covered calls. And this is a strategy that I've been using recently because a lot of my long positions obviously are down. How much we talk about EV stocks on this channel. This is just the beginning. EV cars aren't even mainstream, not even close. They're not even 5%, yet the government mandated that everyone's going to have to replace them, guys. So that's where I think I'm so heavily invested in the EV industry, because I believe by 2025, 2030, it's going to make us absolute millionaires when everyone wakes up and realizes that the smart car is obviously much better than the boring legacy car, just like the smartphone is more interesting than the boring legacy phone. So, but this is a waiting game, guys, and we don't want to make sure that we don't get scared out of our stocks. So like I said, this is not financial advice. I'm not an investment advisor, but there's going to be some volatility with Nio and some of these other stocks. So what you could do is you could sell covered calls. So you can only do this if you own at least 100 shares of any stock. So to talk a little bit about a covered call strategy, I'm going to make a complete video on this because I've been doing this recently to generate income for a lot of these stocks that have been going down. Basically what you do is you own at least 100 shares of Nio. You can use whatever you're using, Webull, Robinhood, Fidelity, whatever brokers you're using, and you can sell covered calls. So a covered call is a way for you to basically generate a premium, which is considered income, even if your stocks aren't doing what they're doing. And we're going to make a video on this complete, but I just wanted to throw you guys that out there, that there is a way to make money on your stocks even when they're going down. And the thing about Nio is that a lot of people are panicking. So they said they were going to close the factory for 5 days. They didn't say they were going to close it for 5 months. And for the stock to go down 10%, I think is a little crazy. And I've seen a lot of these EV stocks are completely sold off. Obviously, we had the boom last year, and now some of these headwinds, like global chip shortages, have pushed a lot of these stocks down. So I think this is a great opportunity to get back in to Nio stock if you guys have missed it. Me personally, I definitely want to get back into Nio. I've been recently buying up Tesla like crazy. I think Tesla is just, after accepting Bitcoin, they've been a game changer. And Nio is my second favorite one. Now, this is just pure EV stocks. We're not talking about charging stations, which we're going to talk about in the next video where I talk about ChargePoint, guys. So that's kind of my thing on where I think Nio stock is what it's doing right now and why we're seeing it sell off like crazy. So now, where do I think Nio stock is headed in the future? Well, if we could take a look here, I'm going to show you guys. So we know Nio has continuously done record deliveries in line with Tesla, and that this is, I think, is a unique buying opportunity. So I still have a nice long-term price target for Nio stock. I think you can definitely 10x from its current levels here. Obviously, China is the biggest EV market in the world, and Nio is one of the top players, even though Tesla is doing big things there. Nio is in a wonderful business model, good CEO, everything is good. So I think this is a nice dip buying opportunity. So now I'm not recommending just to buy Nio stock because I think it's going to go straight back up, but I'm just saying is that this switch to EVs isn't going anywhere, even though it's had a couple of bad, negative news, even though the NASDAQ has sold off quite a bit, even though there's been a lot of shifting into value stocks. This isn't going to stop the EV movement. The stock basically, going back to where it was, a couple of months ago back in November, doesn't change anything about the fundamental aspects of Nio. They're continuing to increase deliveries, and I expect them to have a nice bounce back. So I'm expecting a lot of EV stocks to actually bounce back in April. I think that this was kind of a bad, ever since the February boom, I think that March was pretty tough on EVs. I expect a lot of things to bounce back in April, especially because the weather is getting warm, guys. So I think, especially in April and more vaccines coming out and the weather is warming up, I think we're going to see a big rally back into stocks like Nio. So I could be wrong, guys. So for me, I still have my long-term price prediction of around $350. In the short term, I think we'll definitely, once the news of the global chip shortage gets mitigated and things like that, I think we'll head back to around $60 to $70 within a month or two. Obviously, I could be wrong. Do your own due diligence, but that's just my opinion. I think Nio is definitely one of the stocks, EV stocks, that will survive over the next 5 years, even though there's been a lot of EV companies that have been recently going public via SPACs and things like that. It's not necessarily all of them are going to make it. A lot of them are going to probably go bankrupt. A lot of them are going to merge and things like that. There could be some mergers. So I think Nio's a good strong bet and a good long position. So that's it for now, guys. Be sure to check out what I talked about on selling put options to mitigate your risk and selling covered calls to generate income when your shares are kind of going down. Those are two strategies that I'm going to be talking about a lot about in the future. So that's it until next time, guys. If you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more updates on Nio stock. And be sure to check out my daily stock watch newsletter and my private Discord chat. So that's until next time, guys. Take care.